Today we speak with Dr. Ranjan Belsare in India. I am always so inspired by the Indian homeopaths, and I always learn interesting new remedies when speaking with them. And I am always blown away by the huge amount of patients they manage to treat on a daily basis. It's not uncommon for Ranjan to see 70 to 80 patients a day. So Dr. Ranjan specializes in homeopathy for rheumatology, and in this episode he shares some wonderful success stories from his clinic. If you or somebody you know suffers from a rheumatological complaint, I really hope today's episode will give you some hope and encourage you to seek out the help of a homeopath. And if you'd like to work with Dr. Ranjan directly from anywhere in the world, you can reach him at ranjanbelsare@gmail.com. That's ranjanbelsare@gmail.com. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Homeopathy Hangout, where we discuss all things homeopathy from around the world. And now my mum and your host, Eugenie Kruger.
Hello, homies, and a very warm welcome to Homeopathy Hangout. Today, we get to hang out with Dr. Ranjan Belsare, all the way from Maharashtra in India. Welcome, Ranjan.
Thank you, Eugene. It's a very great honor to be here.
It's lovely to have you, Ranjan. I wonder, can you tell our guests right off the bat, how were you first introduced to homeopathy?
I was first introduced with homeopathy through my mother's case. My mother had a very severe case, had a severe pain, and after which she had diagnosed with renal calculi. And we went to a surgeon who told us to get operated. And it woke up because it was a very big calculi, renal calculi. And she was in so much pain. And then just across my house, there was one homeopath who was there practicing. Not that much patients, but it was a beginning phase of her. And she was with us in good relations. And she said that if you let me treat her, I can treat her and hope it will do the magic. And after first 3 or 4 doses, my mother had passed the calculi.
Oh, amazing.
Out of pain. And that made a much impact and that much surprise my father. Not me, actually. My father. And after I passed out my 12th and I entered in the I liked it to be a graduate. So he told me, why don't you join BHMS? At that time, BHMS was not so much, homeopathy was not so much recognized. Still even in India, it was in blooming phase. And so I was never intended to homeopathy. And I got stuck in the homeopathy. Here we have 5.5 year degree course in homeopathy. So until 3rd or 4th year, I was not interested in homeopathy, not believed in homeopathy, and never intended to do practice in my life. So some moments happened, and I got attracted towards homeopathy. And one such instance was that I had many warts on my face. I suffered from many warts, huge warts. And that was not removable with allopathy. I cauterized them many times and like that, and they were increasing in number. And I went to one of my teacher that nothing is working, and so that I came to homeopathy. A homeopathic student who was not believing in homeopathy, going for the help to a homeopathic practitioner, and he cured my warts within 15 days.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it very hard at that. This is something. There is something in it. You should go for it. And some instances happen. And then I devoted myself after that towards homeopathy. I always considered myself as a converted homeopath. Not from the other stream, but from the heart. I was not intended to be homeopathy, but I now really in love with homeopathy. So this is my journey.
That is so cool. And just for the listeners, the renal calculi that his mum was suffering from is kidney stones, right? I just always try to just simplify it for the audience, just in case, we use some terminology they might not be familiar with. But that is really cool because I have heard that renal calculi and kidney stones are very painful. And some people say it's worse than giving birth. So you'll have to ask your mum, because obviously she's given birth to you guys, if it was worse than birth or not.
Both are the same. That you are quite easy to given birth, but the pain was more.
And at least in childbirth, you have a beautiful baby at the end of it, not just like a little stone.
And that's the reason why people after the stone has passed out, na, they will take care of it. They will put they will put in some product and they will show the doctor.
Special
This is
container.
yeah, this is something like that. Even for the baby also.
Maybe turn that into jewelry or something. I don't know if people do that, but anyway.
It is a kind of jewelry to ourselves, to doctors. After the patients who bought their stones, na, it is
Yeah.
kind of jewelry. We will put them in our showcase that to tell the other patient that show and then
Yeah.
this is also this can be happen with homeopathy also.
Yeah. It's not quite a diamond, but at least it's better out than in. Now, Ranjan, you have a special interest in rheumatology. So tell our audience what is rheumatology and how did you get into it and why is that an area of interest for you?
Yeah. Rheumatology, I have a special interest in rheumatology because a big chunk of my practice consists of this type of patients. From rheumatology the study of rheumatism, the arthritis, study of joint pains and like etc. to the common audience. And there are many people who are suffering from the various disorders all over the world, and many more are added yearly. In India we have 20 to 30% of population is suffering from some kind of rheumatological disorders. So that common these diseases are not in the mainstream focus because they are not having that fancy treatments in allopathic sides, and they are not getting any specific and curative treatments. So my interest was when my mother when she suffered from her OA knee. That is, her knee was very severely painful, stiff. She cannot walk through two or three steps. And being a homeopath, I was felt helpless that I can't do anything to her. So mm, I visited many rheumatologists, eminent rheumatologists, and they all said that you have to get a knee replacement. And my mother was quite fearful to going into that operation, that if you once you operated that, what will happen if this going well is going well, or otherwise I
Yeah.
will be caged to the bed. And I was not married at that time also. So who will take care of you? Who will take care of our family? So that made me think more, and I started her on Barbaris vulgaris 1x, which I learned from one of my masters, Dr. Farooq Master. He's also one of my mentor, and after putting her on Barbaris vulgaris 1x, her knee slowly got recovered, the swelling reduced, the stiffness reduced, and the mobility came back, and now she can walk 1 or 2 miles per day without any
Wow.
hesitation. So that made me feel that if I can do this, I can. There are a lot of many peoples in the community in the India who are not getting that type of treatment. They are not that much privileged, or they are not that much money to go through these type of operations. Either they are willing or they are not willing. It's not the issue. But if they are not privileged, they are not getting that much. They are not having that much money. They don't have any other option.
Yeah, and every time, I mean, it's wonderful that we have the option of surgery. My podcast listeners will be so annoyed with me, but I had my appendix out in January, and I tell you, if it wasn't for the surgeons, I would have been dead right now. So I have a lot of respect for surgeons. But if
Right.
you don't want to unnecessarily have surgery, and if we can use a non-invasive, safe, effective natural medicine, why wouldn't we? And I quickly want to check with you, Ranjan, that medicine that you said, was it Berberis,
Yeah.
which
It is
actually makes
Barbaris.
sense for your mother because it's a really good kidney remedy as well. So it's very interesting that this then was helping her knee. So how amazing. That's very
So
cool.
yeah, so that's why I get interested in this rheumatology
Rheumatology.
field, and slowly I find that I see around 70 to 80 patients per day, and out of them 30 to 35 patients are of these rheumatological complaints.
You
That much
see
common.
70 to 80 patients a day.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
I don't. It is very common to see homeopath 70 to 80 patients, more than 50 patients
Oh
per
my
day
gosh.
in India. This is not big deal. And
Wow.
the college which I did my MD from, I passed out MD from the National Institute of Homeopathy, Kolkata. If you must have heard it. So there we used to see 2,000 to 2,500 patients per day on a daily basis on purely homeopathy.
Whew, that's a
It is a
lot.
college. Yeah, it is a college where there are like a big fair of patients, of homeopathic patients are there,
Oh,
and the college is only specialized for seeing homeopathic OPDs, various OPDs, and there we also have 200 to 250 patients IPD beds also.
that
So it is
sounds
like a homeopathic,
amazing.
yeah, homeopathic hospital where you can learn
Wow.
all type of cases. So from there we are getting that type of exposure where
Yeah.
we learn to see that much patient in a small amount of time.
That is absolutely incredible. So, and I was just going to say, it's so hard with rheumatology because mainstream medicine really doesn't have that much to offer. I mean, they can give drugs, and none of that is actually going to heal the problem. It's just going to suppress the symptoms. So, I do feel that homeopathy for rheumatology is really, really important because there's not that many other options for them in mainstream medicine, right?
Yes, you are very right. They are something like disease modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs.
Mm,
So what these drugs do now, they will suppress these inflammatory processes or the pain responses for some time. After you withdraw them, after 1 or 2 year you are in the square one. So it is not
mm,
helpful to many patients. I have seen some patients who are having much relief, and I've seen many patients who are not getting relief with this.
mm,
So modern Western medicine don't have any firm things to offer to these
mm,
type of patients. And whatever medicines they have, sometimes they are more harmful than of its use. So
mm,
many times a patient came to us, he is suffering from pain in joints, and he's taking painkillers and steroids from many years, and he is getting very swelled up and like that, and ultimately he will end up in the kidney failures
mm.
or the acute kidney injury or chronic kidney injuries. And we have seen many patients who are in which these drugs are doing more harm than they
Mm,
use. And it's
absolutely.
not the case that rheumatologists are not aware, but because they don't have any option to do these things.
Mm, mm. Yeah, it's such a tricky one. I mean, I see six patients a day, not 70 and 80. But I had somebody just yesterday and she lives in another part of Western Australia and she flies down to Perth every 3 months to get her injection for her rheumatological complaints. And,
Yes.
when it gets towards the last few weeks, then those pains are coming back and they get really more intense. And, that's not really a life either. If you have to, if you're forced to be on this medication for the rest of your life without any real hope of ever recovering. I've got another client who's been on this medication for 20 years now, and her symptoms are actually just getting worse and worse and worse. And part of me is wondering if it's not actually just the drug doing so much more damage to her body, and it's hard. And what do you typically find, Ranjan, if somebody does decide to come off their medications with the help of homeopathy? Is that something that can be achieved?
Yeah, this can be achieved. I like to share a case of
Mm.
severe RA patient who was
Rheumatoid
on
arthritis?
rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah.
what we call that, and she has not a single joint of her body which was not affected,
Mm.
and she was in pain and on the verge of divorce because of this. They coming from the lower economical background, and she was suffering, and ultimately her husband told that if you don't get better, just leave me, and we will get in a divorce. I will find a new wife or new bride, like something. So she was in pain, in physical pain also and emotional pain also. When she came to me, and she was not getting any proper treatment. She received treatments before that, but they help her for the short period of time.
Mm.
After the withdrawal that medicine, the pain comes, the swelling comes, and much harm will be done because she was susceptible to that medicine. She will have some rash, some allergies like that after she took medicine. But what she can do to relieve the pain, she have to take the tablets. And when she came to me, she was in very bad condition, and I took her case and I gave her staphysagrina. This
Mm.
lot of suppressed emotion because she can't tell to anyone, and this sort of things are happening. And after staphysagrina, she was improved very slowly, and all her medications went off. We gradually tapered those medicines with the help of one of my rheumatologist friend, And after slowly, this has been a 7 years now.
Mm.
I saw that case in very early days of my practice, and
Wow.
after 7 years also, she was totally fine, and her marriage is intact.
I was just going to say, I hope she kicked her husband to the curb, but she's still with him. Hopefully, she was now able to set better boundaries with Staphysagria as a remedy, better able to assert her, part in the
She's able,
relationship.
yeah, she's able to do that. She comes with her
Good.
husband now for the here and there some trivial complaints, and her husband sits next to me, and now she's the dominant one because she's very good, and they are trying for their second baby also. So they
Oh,
also help with that. That sir, you can help us with that also. So of course, no.
oh.
Seeing these patients who are lives changed upside down, it's a very beautiful thing after homeopathy.
You're going to make me cry. That is actually just so cool because, somebody thinks they're just coming to you for their joint complaints, but actually the mental, emotional improvement that they get from that and how it affects their whole life because of that. And now there's probably going to be a new little baby because of this. So that's
Yeah.
just so amazing. We have the best jobs in the world, hey?
Definitely, we are the jobs in the world.
Yeah. Have you got any other cases you want to share with us?
Yeah, once I had a case of severe sciatica.
So, yeah. Sciatica,
She
yeah.
was the daily wage, yeah.
Mhm.
Matlab, the lady was the daily wage worker. If he didn't go for the work, her family will suffer.
Oh, wow.
And due to some reason or injury, she had suffered from severe pain of sciatica of right sided,
Mm.
and she can't able to move. She can't even go for the toilet. She has to
Mm.
take support of her little children's, and sometimes she crawls, and she's
Oh.
only not only a bread earner but also a caretaker of her family. So if
Mm.
she will lie down on a bed, no one there to cook, no one there to wash the utensil, nothing. And the children are very so small. So she came to me in a very great pain, and I just started taking her history. And in that short period of time, she coughs and after coughing, she had that severe pain
Mm.
in his right sciatic nerve, that kind of intensity of that pain also. So I gave her tellurium in the LM potency 0 by 5 in BD doses, and after 15 days she got better, and now slowly she able to do her daily works, and now she's almost free from pain. She go for the work to earn, and now she is completely okay, without pain, without any medicines.
That is
So this
so cool. And
yeah,
tellurium is not a remedy that I've used very much, but I know that it's used for slip discs as well. Hey,
it is a very good medicine for ringworms. It is
ringworm as
very
well. Yeah.
ringworm, and it is very good medicine for sciatica when you have this pain aggravated by coughing, and
Ah.
the causticum is on the other side, mostly on the left side, and tellurium is on the right side. So that was my point of prescription, that when she coughed, she had this severe pain in that her right sciatic nerve, and that cured her, and that changed her whole life without any operation, because many spine surgeons were advising surgery because there
Mm.
is no other way to relieve that pain, and she didn't even have money to do a proper MRI scan. So
Wow.
this small medicine helped her very much.
And the other thing is when you have those surgery and you have little children, and then often with the recovery period, not many of us mums with little children actually can take 2 months off to just recover after surgery. So, you know.
And after that surgery also, now your mobility is not going to increase. You are
And
going to be that much restricted in your motions, in your activities, that you can do this, you can't do that, and it is like that you do this surgery to relieve the pain only. It is not like that you just like you did your appendectomy and you are fit and fine now.
yeah.
You can jump, you can eat anything, and
Uh-huh.
you can go freely. And then this didn't bother you, and it is you feel like completely free.
Yeah.
But it is like in these cases after surgery also, you have to be in on certain regime, that you can't stoop. Okay, you can't lift heavy things.
Yeah.
And now, if you tell a patient of this who is going to earn his bread and butter by daily wages, you can't tell her that you don't do this, because you will suffer from pain, and that you had operations after operation also, after they had exhausted their entire life savings of their life. It is not
Not
that much
really
help.
helps.
Only pain is better.
It's incredible when you talk about these things. I mean, it just really, really is such a stark contrast of how lucky we are here in Australia, where we don't often see that in our clinics, and just how amazing it is that homeopathy is able to help people. You know, I can't imagine if you've got that day wage where if you can't work for that day, that means you're not eating that day. I mean, it's just incredible. And then if that homeopathy, it's the cheapest, probably the cheapest medicine on the planet, other than maybe energy medicine like Reiki or something like that. Cheapest medicine on the planet, and can make such a profound difference in a person's life.
I like to slightly correct you. It is not cheapest. It is cost effective.
Cost effective.
Yeah, cost effective, and it is not cheap. It is not cheapest. It is. It can be a treasureful. It invaluable. For some people, it is invaluable. For me, it is invaluable.
It is.
That five rupees and 10 rupees vial can cure hundreds of patients, but it is cost effective.
Cost effective.
Not cheap.
Not cheap. We've got to watch our words here. And it's very sustainable. I mean, at the end of the day, we can produce medicines for the whole world without having to destroy rainforests or kill, thousands of African green monkeys or all of the other animals and insects and plants that get destroyed in the process of making pharmaceutical medication. Or it's something that always blows my mind is the menopausal medication that's made from the urine of pregnant horses, and how they keep these horses in stalls and don't allow them any water so that their urine is more concentrated so that they can make this medication for menopausal women. And I'm like, how is that ever okay to put an animal through that trauma? So you don't have your hot flush for a little bit, when we can just use such safe homeopathic remedies to achieve a much better effect.
Yes, it is definitely a great to see patient healed by homeopathy without hurting them also, without hurting any environmental factors, and without hurting their pockets also. So it is
yeah. Absolutely.
It is really a treat to your eyes and your mind to see that the patients are getting healed. They're happily. They come to you with happiness. I'm okay. And sometimes the follow-up of sometimes when the correct remedy hits, the follow-up was only 5 to 7 seconds. Patient will come to see you and just tell you that yes, I'm okay. Just give my medicine. Only that. And it's up to you that if you want to straight that follow-up, that is this better? Is your headache is also better? And the patient will only say, I'm all better. Just give me my medicine, and I will meet you after 15 days. And that is, and these are the shortest follow-ups. And you see in homeopathy, and never ever in any other system of medicine, because patient is healed from within outside.
Absolutely.
When he's better now, he will not anything to say you, nothing to say you. Just give me my medicine. Give me my medicine. I'm all okay. I waited 3 hours in your clinic just to say you.
Oh,
okay. I'm all okay. And just give me my medicine.
So do people just line up in queues? Is it like first come, first serve?
Yeah. First come, they have to take appointments sometimes, and sometimes we give them if there are special cases like rheumatoid arthritis and slip discs and PIDs. We give them special appointment because we have to do a proper case taking, and we have to go to deeper aspects of their mental and physical levels. Many people didn't know about that because it's in a pure village area, a pure town area where patients only wants they are in habit of going to the doctor, telling their complaint and getting their medicine received. No one going to ask you about their sleep, their stool, their desire, how they feel, how they don't, how when they are sad, and this kind of difficult sometimes to get this type of symptom. But somehow we are now used to that, and patients who came to us, they are now after seeing that much people waiting outside, and they come by refer also. They are not came by themselves. Some or other people they refer the patient to you, and they said that just go to a doctor, and I was better from my complaint after that, and they will teach that patient. Go there. The doctor will ask about this. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous. Tell them whole the thing. He will ask about your nature. Don't hide anything. It will take 1 hour. Be patient. It will take 2 or 3 months to get you that proper effect sometimes, but don't leave the treatment and you will get benefited. And in that cases, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to get educated the patient. You
They're
just
the
sit.
best. They're the best. I've got a few clients like that I've helped over the years, and it's the best word of mouth. Their friends and family all come and see you, and usually that client will prepare that person and, give them some idea of what they can expect. So that's the best client to get.
That's the best. And imagine that happened in the rural areas of India.
Where there's
They
probably a
don't.
lot of talking. Oh, that's amazing. And any other cases you want to share with us, Ranjan? I love listening to cases. It's always so interesting, and hearing what remedies different homeopaths prescribe as well.
Yeah. When there is a one case of a patient, he was suffering from severe brachial neuralgia, the cervical radiculopathy. He had this slip disc in his 6C5 or 6 cervical vertebra. Pain was excruciating. He had taken this pregabalins also, and he did his physiotherapy sessions also, and he was a teacher. So he has to teach, and he has to
Right on the board.
like that, right on the board, and
Yeah.
he has to be in this bent forward position to check the
Yeah.
notebooks and papers, and it was very difficult to him. Cannot do his job. He was on the leave and went to many rheumatologists. Many suggested some or other things. The surgery was not possible because it was too invasive. If some bad thing happened, he will paralyze up the
Oh,
whole body.
wow.
Yeah, so the pain was so excruciating, and he was talking about the pain, how was the pain, and how he suffered, how it affected her. And I did find in him that he was very talking. And I asked about his thirst. He said, I don't feel thirsty usually. And I gave him Paris quadrifolia.
I don't know that one. Did you say
Yeah.
Paris?
Yes, Paris quadrifolia. I
Okay.
gave it 0.4 potency. That I directly switched on to 0.4 because the pain was so excruciating, and I gave it in a tedious day, in tedious doses for some 10 to 15 days, and he was 50% better after
Wow.
that initial doses of Paris quadrifolia. It is clearly written that when the pain in the cervical region went to the left hand, it is mostly Paris quadrifolia,
Oh,
colchicum
cool.
had, and in the right we have sanguinaria, calmia. If it is hot, it is sanguinaria. It is mostly chilly. It is calmia. If it is numbness, it is calmia. So it was a left-sided locality like lacasis,
Uh-huh.
thirstless patient. Paris quadrifolia did the job and did the wonder. Now he is back to his job, doing all the works and never having pain.
That is so cool. I had to quickly Google Paris quadrifolia. Quadra obviously means four, and folia leaf, and it said it's called True Lover's Knot, which is very interesting. That's so. And you said sanguinaria for the left side,
Right side.
right side, of course, yeah, and also right sided like migraines. That's the remedy that's made from bloodroot, I think. Sanguinaria,
Yeah,
bloodroot,
but it
yeah.
is very good medicine for the migraines, right-sided migraine, and for the allergic rhinitic patients who are
Ah,
very affected strongly by the odors or by strong odors. Also, they suffer from heartburns
okay.
frequently, and these type of right-sided rheumatic complaints. Right-sided patient. They are sanguinary.
So
Sulfur-like patients, heat of palm and soles, acidity, right-sided complaints, any allergic history, sanguinaria can.
Oh my goodness, that's why I love speaking with the Indian homeopaths, because you guys know your materia medica like nobody else. And I have never spoken with an Indian homeopath and not learned new remedies. And you guys tend to use lots of different remedies that we never learn in our materia medica at college, and we learned like hundreds of different remedies, but you guys always use and I think there's certain like Indian herbs and things that you have that you use in homeopathic potency as well that we don't use as often. And so I'm always learning a new remedy, and I always have to listen so carefully because, there's so many different remedies that I just have never heard of. But that sounds good. I'm going to keep an eye on Paris quadrifolia and see if I ever have a case where I need it. That's
So
very
there are
cool.
these medicines are actually there in Boric Metra Medica since long
Burica,
time.
I love Burica. Yeah.
Yeah. This Boric Metra Medica is there from many times, and in that In that, Dr. Borik has said that they collected these indications from eminent homeopaths of his time, or from the toxicological source, or from the empirical sources also. And that's why he collected this so-called verified knowledge, and that's why they are very true till date now.
Any of our listeners, if you're listening to this and you want to get a really good book, there's this Burica Materia Medica and Repertory combination, and he's also got remedy relationships in the back of the book and all that. It's actually such a good home prescribing book for anyone to have in their house. I was actually just going to contact B. Jane to see if I can do a bulk book order of Burica's book for the mothers here in Perth who, are really getting into their homeopathy, because that book has got so many hundreds of different remedies, and the repertory, and it's got the remedy relationships, and it's got like smaller remedies. It's, very, very good book, that one.
And also has some therapeutic index also.
Yes. Yeah. And all of that in one tiny little book. It's not tiny. It's a small book, but it's like chunky.
Chunky,
Yeah, that's very good. It's amazing, Ranjan. And is there anything else that you want us to finish this episode off on? Is there any other cases you want to share? Or can you tell our listeners how they can get hold of you? Anything else that you want to share with us?
I want to share the message I want to give you to audience and the homeopaths also all over the world, that choose homeopathy first in these rheumatological cases. First you give try to this. If you're not satisfied, and that will not be the case, if you are not satisfied, then go to the other pathy, because that medicine will heal you through and through, from your mind to your body to your soul, and you feel completely new after that. It will be a much big experience, because sometimes after some medicine and after suffering so long with that disease, patient also get traumatized. So homeopathy is the best medicine to begin with in these type of cases. First, you consult your nearest homeopath for that. And dear homeopaths, I want to tell you that if you treat these cases, it is like tsunami of rheumatological patients.
Really? Once you have success in that?
Success. We are talking about cancers, we are talking about diabetes, we are talking about many lifestyle disorders. Nowadays, these patients are also came like tsunami. If they are not coming to you, make them come to you, because these will be a very next turning point in the history of homeopathy after treating these cases. We are treating many cancer cases. Yes, it is good, but it is as difficult as to treat a cancer case as to treat a rheumatoid arthritis case, which is suffering from 10 years, 15 years. Her joints are getting deformed. To give relief to that patient, it is a very big thing. The next thing, because patient is always helpful in these cases. So homeopaths, you should have to be more focused or more determined to give results in these cases, because it will go in the community, because there are mass patients of these conditions also. We talk about many of cancers and this, or give relief to this patient, and it will benefit homeopathy. And patients, please first use homeopathy in these cases, because I have seen many patients who are getting better without surgery. Their neuralgia is getting better with simple homeopathic pills. No need of pregabalin, no need of any big medicine like Tegretol. I want to give you one case of trigeminal neuralgia.
Oh, ouch!
A lady had extracted his tooth because of it carried. Because of caries of tooth, he went to the dentist and he extracted his tooth. And after that, this trigeminal neuralgia started of right side, and she was in so pain. No, the Tegretol is not helping. Not any other medicine was helping, and she was in so much pain. She used to lie down like this for hours and hours, and you cannot imagine the pain of trigeminal neuralgia. And there is no specific treatments. The stars and the body,
I've heard trigeminal neuralgia is very, very painful.
Yeah, big stars of our Bollywood industry and Hollywood industry also, they are suffering from these neuralgias, and they are not getting better. Because they are not getting any homeopathic treatment. So I gave her, the lady, Hypericum CM, one dose, the right-sided neuralgia after extraction of the teeth. And she was completely better gradually. We have to repeat these doses at frequent intervals also, because the pain is will shoot up once, and you have to relieve that. And now after 1.5 years of treatment, she is completely free from that pain. And if you tell her to a pain management doctor who is handling these type of cases, and he will say, what rubbish you are talking, it is not possible. But we are doing this in our clinic, daily cases. Left-sided trigeminal neuralgia, verbascum is very good remedy, spagula is very good remedy. So these few small medicines are getting patients better. Lifetime pain who has suffered from 15 years, 20 years, and they are from chunk of the medicine, and it is not getting better. When this hurts, no medicine came to rescue.
Amazing.
But this small one dose, 4 pills, 5 pills, and let the patient sit outside for 5 or 10 minutes, and she will report it, sir, doctor, I will feel much better now. Now can I go home?
Wow.
Because work to do, and this type of miracles are happening in homeopathy. So I will request everyone to please let it be. Homeopathy is the first choice of medicine in these type of disorder, or in any other type of disorders.
That's such a good message. Now, Rajan, for anyone who has been on pharmaceutical medication for a long time, what is your message to them? If they've already gone down that route and now they're thinking, okay, maybe I should give homeopathy a try.
Yeah, it's never too late to you. Never too late. If you are suffering from 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, it's never too late to start homeopathy at any age. It will take time to withdraw, to taper your all medication, but it will be worth that 1 or 2 years of time to the homeopathy will worth your lifetime. Because after that, you will feel completely okay. And I will say that it is never too late to anyone to start homeopathy. If you are suffering from 10 years, 25 years, 30 years, I have seen cases of 30 years long, 25 years long, 35 years long, who is having bedridden and not walking with this stick,
cane, your walking stick, yeah.
And now they are feeling the freedom of movement. Now they are
amazing.
free. Not
Absolutely
I will
amazing.
not they got 100% cure, but if 25 years, 30 years of pain vanishes and the patient enjoys that mobility where he's not used to, it is miracle, and it is worth of your time. So it is never too late for homeopathy. If you are on anything from many years, just start homeopathy. Soon you will listen to this.
I love listening to you. I can see your passion coming through. And I think, like with us homeopaths, we are like the eternal optimists, hey, because we always know there's always something we can do. And I don't know how medical doctors go into their job on a day-to-day basis. I'm so grateful for them. Please don't get me wrong, but I don't think I could do their job, because I could not be in a job where I have to say to somebody, I'm very sorry, there's nothing we can do for you. We don't have a cure for this. We have no medicine we can give you. There's nothing I can do for you. I've never said that to a client. There's always something we can do. I'm never promising them a cure. I'm just saying there is something that we might be able to do. We might be able to improve it 5% or 10%. Or if we can't improve it, if your arm's been chopped off and I can't make it grow back, but I can help you feel better about not having your arm anymore. So there's always something that we can do. Hey. I think that's the true gift of homeopathy.
Yeah, and because I'm not blaming, we are not blaming the modern science doctor, because they are not used to see that type of improvements. And those who have seen it, they will either refer patient to us, or got themselves converted. That like Dr. Roger Peterson, like Dr. Patil, like Dr. Fatak, and Dr. Hahnemann himself. Those who have seen these results, those who have experienced homeopathy, they are bound to think, and they will also opt this way by one or by other means. And we have seen it. Our master, our many homeopaths who are, once they experience the power of homeopathy, they themselves turned to homeopathy. They left their allopathic practice. Many patients and many doctors are not. They are not experiencing this type of results in their lifetime. That's why they are not that much into homeopathy. They will not refer to homeopathy, or they will scold homeopathy, or they will say that is a rubbish science, but it is not. Once you know homeopathy, homeopathy, they will start referring patients to you. I get many patients of these sciaticas from the
medical doctors,
orthopedics.
Yeah, incredible.
My friend is orthopedician, and he referred her mother to me, that just please take care of her neuralgia. of
Oh.
her sciatic pain, because my medicine is going to do much harm to her. If it comes, I will handle sometimes, but you have to treat her. And simple Nephalium, and her pain went away. And he was in miracle. How this can happen? How
Yeah.
this can happen?
Did you say Nephtalium? That's another remedy I know about, but I haven't used myself.
In Nephalium, it is a very good remedy for right-sided sciatica when the pain is numbing pain.
Okay. And it's also
Yeah.
cudweeds is called. Okay. And another remedy you mentioned earlier was verbascum, which is made from mullein. So I always just try to put that in the podcast. Otherwise, I get a whole bunch of emails afterwards saying, this homeopath said this remedy. What did they say in the podcast? So I always just try to clarify it. Otherwise, I get a bunch of emails saying, what was that remedy they talked about? So we talked about lots of remedies today. Berberis, Paris quadrifolia. We've got sanguinaria. We've got spigellia. We've got verbascum, Nephtalium. Yeah, all sorts of really good remedies. That's amazing. Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Ranjan. How can people get hold of you? Can people from overseas make bookings with you as well? Do you do like Zoom calls, or is it all just at the clinic in person?
Yeah, I'm seeing many online patients also, and the patient can mail me to Ranjan Belsare at gmail.com. You have my email ID also.
Uh-huh.
It is they can contact me through that, and I'm seeing many foreign patients also.
Wonderful.
And if anybody wants to contact me, this is my email address, Ranjan Belsare, that is RANJANPELSARE at gmail.com, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram also, so you can ping me anytime.
Amazing. Well, I'll put that in the show notes. And thank you so much for your time. It was very fun chatting with you.
Thank you so much. Same here.
The Homeopathy Hangout podcast is produced by Eugenie Kruger Homeopathy. For more information, visit eugeniekruger.com. The information presented in this podcast is for educational purposes only and does not replace advice from your medical practitioner. Please read our full disclaimer in the show notes. Thank you for listening.